Hey guys, welcome back. So we're standing in the control room of the Evanston X-ray suite. So every room is going to be pretty much the same. We've got the CMP 200. This is where we get all of our techniques for all of our body parts, and this is the machine we use to actually expose the image. So I'm just going to kind of go over the buttons of this real quick. A lot of clinics don't have the CMP 200, but they're all very, very similar. You'll note that there's a bunch of body parts here with corresponding KVP technique and mass technique. Okay, we're very fortunate that way that all the clinics have most of the body parts programmed in where they're very, very close for a regular sized patient. There are certain times where you'll have to manipulate the mass and go up or down, and you'll see we've got these technique charts in every one of the clinics. If you don't have these, please let me know and I'll get those to you. I just wanted to show you, for instance, a knee. It tells you the projections that we are taking, AP, lateral, and sunrise if needed. Technique for a child, technique for an average adult, technique for a large adult. Okay, and pay attention to that. If you've got a large adult or a little kitty in there, sometimes you're going to have to manipulate the mass. And how you do that is, say we are doing a forearm, okay, and we've got a Popeye in there, just huge forearms. Okay, so the mass or the techniques that it gives us is 60 at 5.6. We can, if we have somebody with a huge forearm, you can double your mass. Okay, so you're going to go up there around 10, and that's going to make your picture better. Okay, you're going to be able to get a little more penetration through the body part and see it a little bit better. But as far as changing mass and KVP, you don't have to worry about that too much because most everybody is pretty average sized. So you just go to the body part that you want to shoot, you select it, and you use the technique that's there. If you ever have a question, say you're doing a chest x-ray, that's what it gives us for a PA chest. If you get a big feller in there, you're not going to want to use the 2.5 mass, okay? And how you change that, you just hit the up button, and we'll probably shoot it at like 20 or 30, okay? It's going to give you enough oomph to get through that body part. If you ever have a question about body size, what to shoot a body part at, please give me a call. We can get you right in the ballpark with just the size of the patient, okay? But as far as that's what you do. I mean, just select your body part, use the technique that comes up unless we need to change it. But most of the time you're just going to use the technique that comes up, okay? So over here we've got AEC, which is automatic exposure control, which we do not have in our clinics, so you'll never take an image with it right there. I primarily use the mass setting, okay? If you're over here on the MA/MS setting, it's just splitting your time and your MA up. So that's a conversion that's made. If you go to mass, that's 28 is the same as 250 MA at 110 milliseconds. Okay, it's the same exact thing. I just like to be on the mass setting so you can see what your mass is, so you don't have to do any calculation in your head. AEC field, don't worry about that because we don't have AEC. We won't worry about this film screen either. It doesn't even light up. Okay, large and focal spot, small focal spot. When you're shooting a hand, wrist, forearm, any type of extremity, you're going to use a small focal spot. Okay, it's going to give you a little bit better recorded detail. And when we start getting into more of the physics of things, I'll explain how that works. When you're using a chest or L-spine or something like that, we'll use a large focal spot. Just remember, the bigger the body part, the bigger the focal spot, and there's only two, small and large. So extremities, use a small focal spot, bigger, use a large, okay? This we won't worry about as well. If you have a traditional room, You may worry about the table bucky, non-bucky or wall bucky. You can set it on either one of these, it just doesn't matter. Okay, we usually leave ours set at the wall bucky. So the bucky is the image receptor. Just enough said about that. If you're in a traditional room, if you're taking a picture with your cassette inside the table, you're going to use the table bucky. Okay, if it's a non-bucky extremity and you're just using the film on top of the table, it's a non-bucky. If you have the film inside the image receptor in the upright bucky, you're going to use the wall bucky. Okay, but for those of us with the Paxos 100, not important. Okay, auxiliary 2, that doesn't mean anything for us as well. Okay, the prep button, that just turns your rotor, lets your electrons form inside your tube. And once you hear the click, you're okay to hit the expose button. And you hold that expose button until you hear the beep. Okay, if you're shooting a shot that's a little bit longer in time, it's going to take that expose button a little bit longer to beep. You have to hold it the entire time. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it, cut and dried with your Technique machine. Okay, pretty easy. If you do have questions, let me know. The biggest part is use your mask setting. Don't worry about the AEC because we don't do that. If you're shooting something small, use the small focal spot. If you're shooting something large, use the large focal spot. And as far as your bucky goes, with this machine, it doesn't matter what you're set on. Okay. This machine also has the rotor and expose button. Some machines have them, some machines don't. Halfway down is your rotor, and all the way down is expose. Okay. Same idea as this button, does the same thing. Okay, here's the computer. This runs the software, which is the Drock Blade View software. Really user-friendly machine. Okay, minimum information you want the patient's name and their personal identification number and birthday. You want to put patient, whether they're male or female. You can put the size, that's okay. It doesn't correlate with what we're using over here as far as Technique goes, so it really doesn't matter. But you can put study comments, what you're doing, why they're hurting, the how, when, and where, and why, and all that stuff. And your protocols, you're just going to select Mr. Zipperman over here and select what you want to shoot. Okay, you'll select what we want to shoot. Say we want an L spine, and we'll just hit exam. Once you hit an exam and it goes to that next screen, we didn't put any information in there. You'll be ready to go. Okay, and that's most I'm going to say about that right now. We'll do a full tutorial about how to use all these. Okay. Anyway, thanks for coming by today. I hope this was helpful on how to use that, and we'll see you next time.